877-663-6087.
Well, after a deadly tornado this summer, residents of Pilger, Nebraska were left searching through the piles of wreckage where their homes once were. So when Butler, the Weather Channel therapy dog, came along, he gave them a reason to smile again. Here's Jim Cantori with more.
Jody Sloniker still has a rough time returning to Pilger, Nebraska.
It's hard to be here because this was our home for so many years.
The tornado that took her house took a lot more as well.
And I don't think I would feel safe anymore here.
Sloniker and her youngest kids, Cameron and Samantha, were home at the time the tornado hit.
And I looked out the window and it hit me right then that this was not going to be something that we were going to come out of really easy.
I just remember like us laying on the bunk bed and then my mom telling us to hold on.
At that point, the sirens went off. And within minutes, you heard I'm sorry. The locomotive sound, and it was shaking our house. And I told him to hang on. And then after that, you just lay there and you heard everything upstairs crashing and the wood twisting and almost screaming. And then right after that, there was just this suctioning noise and the house was just off. It looked like we were on a Hollywood set of like the Day After movie.
Hi, Butler.
So Butler, the Weather Channel therapy dog, gave these kids a reason to smile.
Nope. Ready?
Again.
I have that stick. Here you go.
Butler's cool.
Yeah, Butler's awesome.
You guys wore him out.
Kyle, this is the pulley to the garage. Found some more. I found that picture of Kyle in his football uniform standing next to Grandpa. It was over in the rock pile. I found it. Can we keep it?
God, absolutely. That is probably the best find we have had ever.
You're welcome, Mom.
Thank you. Good job.
Certainly a great story there. You like to see them finding some of their precious belongings. Well, right now we're going to send it over to Vivian. Vivian, such a great story right there. Hopefully you can follow it up with some more good news for the weekend.
Oh, yes. Let's see if we are looking good as far as the weather is concerned this weekend, because we do have a couple of areas that we'll be watching on Saturday. Notice from the mid-Atlantic back into the mid-Mississippi Valley and much of the southeast. Everywhere you see the green, there is the chance that we could find some scattered showers and storms. It doesn't mean that you will see the storms, but it's just an indication that you have a higher level of opportunity to see those thunderstorms throughout the afternoon. Much of the same over the northern Rockies, the north central plains here. The far west we think will stay dry, including Seattle, even down to Los Angeles. Pretty much the same weather pattern up and down the west coast, with upper 70s in Seattle and low 80s in LA. And a beautiful Saturday is shaping up for you, Boston. Even New York, we think you'll stay dry. Partly sunny conditions Saturday and Sunday, as you can see here. Sunday up to 85 in New York and 80 degrees in Boston on Sunday as well. Jennifer?
All right, well, 2 hurricanes heading towards Hawaii. One of those actually is going to make landfall just a couple hours away from that. And also a magnitude 4.5 earthquake struck about 2 hours ago on the Big Island. And right now we're not hearing any reports of any damage, but certainly this area does not want that. And we have a question for you. Hawaii is made up of several islands, but do you know which island has the largest population? Well, the answer coming up right after the break. Stay with us.
Time for a shakecation. It's the summer of shakes.
Man, these cheesy bread dogs are incredible.
Real good.
The cheese is baked right into the bun.
You know, in this case, it really is what's on the outside that counts.
Maybe that phrase, it's what's on the inside that counts, isn't true.
I mean, I've only been judging books by their covers.
Really?
I only read the cover.
Oh, you don't read what's inside?
No, I could read 2, 3 covers. Cover to cover. Cover and cover.
Count on the cheesy goodness of the new Cheesy Bread Dogs. They're the perfect match for any of our 25 shakes. This is how you Sonic.
Head to the Sonic nearest you.
As a peach grower, I know the tastiest fruit is the freshest fruit and how to spot that perfect moment of ripeness. I also know that nothing's more important than your reputation. That's why my peaches go to Walmart, so that you always get our freshest peaches, backed by the 100% money-back guarantee.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 86 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms with locally heavy downpours. High 89. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, thunderstorms early. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
We're the places you call home when you're away from home. 12 brands, more hotels than anyone else in the world. Like Wyndham, we're awaiting your arrival. For a chance to win $1 million, visit WyndhamRewards.com.
How about over there?
What does it mean to have an unlimited mileage warranty on a certified pre-owned Mercedes-Benz? What does it mean to drive as far as you want for up to 3 years and be covered? It means your odometer is there to record the memories. During the Mercedes-Benz Certified Pre-Owned Sales event, now through September 2nd, you'll get complimentary prepaid maintenance and may qualify for a 2-month payment credit. Only at your authorized Mercedes-Benz dealer.
Great rates for great rides. Geico Motorcycle. See how much you could save.
The first time I heard the word grandma, what? At my age? No way. But then you hold him in your arms, oh, and everything changes. This is my first grandchild, Steven, and I want to be a part of his life for a long, long time. But you can't take care of your family until you take care of yourself.
And now with Fast 5 from Nutrisystem, you can lose weight fast. Lose 5 pounds your first week or your money back guaranteed.
Nutrisystem helps me do just that. I lost 50 pounds and I feel great.
Order your 28-day My Weight plan right now and we'll rush you the Fast 5 free. You'll get 1 week of fantastic energizing shakes to rev your metabolism. 1 week of delicious Craving Crusher shakes to crush those cravings. Plus 1 week of meals absolutely free.
Grandma? Yeah, I can own that. I'm a grandma.
For new home furnishings, look to the Yum Yum Tree for the best values in home decor. You'll be amazed at what a large showroom and what a vast array of furniture styles the Yum Yum Tree has to offer. Beautiful, fully upholstered and metal designs, reclining sofas and chairs, as well as wicker, rattan, all types of bedroom ensembles, lamps and accessories. For quality and one-stop home furnishings with same-day delivery, remember the Yum Yum Tree. Open 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday on US 1 in Jupiter. The large store with small prices, where elegance is a matter of good taste, not money.
Located in a discreet and tranquil Palm Beach County, Florida setting, the Rehab Center for Women provides expert and compassionate care for women who are suffering from substance abuse, trauma, and mental illness. We offer custom treatment plans, including medical detox and specialized rehab to give women the strength and focus they need to begin living the lives they deserve. You don't have to suffer anymore. Call 888-302-5579 or visit helpforwomen.com to start healing today.
Professor of world languages and author, and I'm also a mom, and I wish I'd had a program like Little Pim when my kids were little.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Well, we are following a double threat to the Hawaiian Islands. I'll tell you what, we've been watching 2 hurricanes approach from the east.
Yeah, and just before the break, we asked you a question. What is the most populous island in Hawaii? The answer is
Oahu. Okay, according to the 2013 census, just over 980,000 people live on the island of Oahu. That's nearly 3/4 of the state's population.
Yeah, a lot of people there.
Well, conditions in the Big Island should begin going downhill over the next few hours.
That's right. Carl Parker is standing by at the expert desk with the latest on the track and the strength of the 2 hurricanes threatening Hawaii.
Remarkable situation, ladies, as we've got a hurricane that is likely to make landfall as at least a tropical storm, if not a hurricane, on the Big Island, and that has never happened in the records going back to 1950. And let's take a look at the latest advisory from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. An 80-mile-per-hour storm moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. That would bring the center of the storm into the Big Island in about 10 to 11 hours or so. And there's a look at the forecast track and intensities. It will probably then weaken to a strong to mid-grade tropical storm as it passes perhaps just south of Honolulu. Winds really going downhill tomorrow morning, Honolulu time, and then the storm continues off towards the west after that. Now, the hurricane hunters are out in this system. They've been flying through it. So far, they've found strong tropical storm force winds, but they've not yet gone through this area of really deep convection or thunderstorms on the north side of that circulation. Would not be at all surprising to see that they find hurricane force winds, as this storm has really been holding its own. It's amazing how resilient it has been, and we're getting our first look at the storm in the visible satellite picture. Now the sun coming up there in the Central Pacific, and we're already seeing some squally weather not very far offshore. This is a look at that on the radar picture, and some heavier rain showers coming on board. The winds not very strong out of the northeast as they typically are, and so it's those windward sides of the islands that are going to get hit hardest by wind. And there's a look at the timing of this. In Hilo, winds getting up to perhaps 60 miles per hour or nearly so, sustained later tonight Hawaii time, and that's going to mean winds gusting perhaps to hurricane force, especially as you get up in elevation. In Honolulu, the winds start to kick in tomorrow morning, Hawaii time, talking about wind sustained of around 50 miles per hour, so perhaps gusting to 60 miles per hour and higher. That is significant there in Hawaii. Talking about the wave action, there will be significant waves, 10 to 16 feet coming into Maui and Molokai, maybe 16 to 26 feet there on the northeast shores of the Big Island, and that's going to be later today. So that certainly is enough wave action to cause some damage. Now, we don't expect to see a significant storm surge, and here is the reason why. This is looking at the U.S. Gulf Coast, where the continental shelf is very shallow, and it has a very, very gradual slope. So what happens is the wind allows that water to really pile up and along that shallow slope, and that's how it comes inland. Well, in the case of Hawaii, you don't have that shallow continental shelf. Rather, you go from the islands right down to the great depths in the ocean, and because of that steep shelf, you don't see the same buildup of water. So the storm surge is not going to be as big of an impact here, probably about 1 to 3 feet on the Big Island in particular. And of course, it's not just one storm, but 2 storms. The second one is Julio, a larger storm, and that is now a 105-mile-per-hour hurricane, now moving to the west at 17 miles per hour. Very good-looking storm at this point, and it looks like it may pass just to the north of the islands, and we'll talk more about that over the next couple of hours here. Jen, back to you.
All right, thank you. Carl Parker there. Well, Hawaii is bracing for a dual threat with 2 hurricanes.
They're coming in one behind the other. Next, a report from Storm Tracker Jim Cantori on how the islands are getting ready.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. This afternoon, thunderstorms with locally heavy downpours. High 89. Chance of rain 80%. Tonight, thunderstorms early. Low 77. Chance of rain 50%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Well, it is morning in Hawaii. People are waking up in paradise, getting ready for what could seem like hell.
An unprecedented storm is coming to the Big Island, and we're all over it.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
And since records have been kept, a hurricane has never hit the Big Island of Hawaii. In fact, for being in the middle of the ocean, it's rare for the state to get tropical activity there at all. Alex, it looks like Hurricane Iselle will make landfall in less than 12 hours.
That is right. We are looking at Hurricane Iselle. You can see the Big Island of Hawaii right there. Further off towards the east, we've got Julio. But Iselle, obviously the big object of interest at this time because it's the most imminent. We've got tropical storm warnings, hurricane warning in effect for the Big Island of Hawaii, where conditions are going to begin to deteriorate through the day, the worst of it coming tonight. And here's the storm timing today for Hilo. Winds 20 to 30 miles per hour late. Rain increasing, especially late in the day. 1 to 2 inches of rainfall expected. As we go into tonight, winds 50 to 70 miles per hour. Periods of heavy rain and additional rainfall 2 to 3 inches. So flooding will be another huge concern. We're going to send it out to the expert desk and Carl Parker with more on the tropics.
Just a remarkable situation, as we've never seen this in the record. As you mentioned, a hurricane coming into the Big Island, and we do expect that it could either be a hurricane or a very strong tropical storm, and there are going to be significant impacts from this system. And let's begin with a look at the advisory from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center that came out 1 hour ago. As of 8 a.m. Hawaii Standard Time, it's now 9 a.m. locally there. 80-mile-per-hour wind moving west-northwest at 17, so that's basically where we've been all morning long. And I want to show you also the forecast track and intensities. Again, the storm could be a hurricane as it makes landfall near the Big Island, or on the Big Island, I should say, and then continues on perhaps to the south of Molokai and Oahu early tomorrow. And the winds will be picking up there in Honolulu, we think, in the morning hours as the sun comes up. The storm has been remarkably resilient, despite the fact that there's been a lot of dry air around this circulation. It has held on to thunderstorms about that core. It has retained a lot of its structure. It's not certainly a perfect-looking hurricane, but it's strong enough, and now 170 miles away from the tip of the eastern part of the Big Island there. That's where the weather is, and so we're thinking about 7, 8 o'clock local time, conditions really starting to go downhill. And here's a computer model forecast showing you the winds driving in here. Now, the typical wind flow that comes into the Hawaiian Islands is out of the northeast. Those are the northeasterly trade winds, so we call the northeast sides of the islands the windward side of the islands, and the windward side of the islands are the parts that are going to get hit the hardest. And so watch as we go forward here, getting into late afternoon, 5 o'clock local time, winds beginning to pick up 20, 25 miles per hour in Hilo. Notice the absence of wind behind the Big Island, because the Big Island acting as a barrier to that wind flow. The mountains actually as high as nearly 14,000 feet on that island. Then getting into 8 o'clock tonight, that's when it really starts cranking here, 50 to 60 miles per hour in Hilo. That means gusting to hurricane force potentially, and 40 to 50 miles per hour in Kaului. And then into early in the morning, 3 o'clock in the morning, still going strong in Hilo. Winds coming out of the southeast now on the backside of that circulation. And then again, as the sun comes up tomorrow morning, that's when the winds really start increasing in Honolulu, probably sustained at about 50 miles per hour, not as close to 60, more like 50, and that may go through the middle of the day tomorrow. And again, you see the absence of wind, relatively speaking, because of that barrier to the wind flow provided by the Big Island there. Now, another thing I want to discuss is the fact that wind right at the surface is not as strong as it is when you get up a few thousand feet in the atmosphere. That's because the surface provides friction and it slows that wind down. And that's important because there are people who live at higher elevations on these mountainous islands. So if you've got a wind of 70 miles per hour at the surface that comes into the Big Island tonight, we're going to see winds of more like 85 miles per hour at 1,000 feet and getting close to perhaps 100 miles per hour at 2,000 feet. So those of you who live at higher elevations, you will have greater potential for damaging wind as this storm comes in. In Honolulu, again, sustained winds picking up tomorrow morning as the sun comes up, probably around 50 miles per hour. That is one heck of a windstorm for Honolulu, not something that we see often at all. And on top of that strong wind, we're also going to see a serious threat for flooding and mudslides. That flow coming into that elevated terrain, it's driven up by the mountains. That lift in the atmosphere creates even more cooling and condensation and then rain. And the result is enhanced rainfall. And we're talking about several inches of rainfall coming down in Hilo. It's going to be probably 5 to 8 inches. It breaks down in terms of timing just like this, and maybe as much as double-digit rainfall. And that will mean flash flooding once again that could be life-threatening in some areas. Flash flood watches now in effect across all of the islands right now. So, Dave, a significant storm and not something that we have seen very often in recorded history. Back to you.
And it'll be interesting to see how those tall volcanoes disrupt the circulation of this hurricane. Well, we've got a storm threat in the Midwest and also out in the Front Range of the Rocky Mountains. Here in St. Louis, we've got a wet day going on. There's a swirl here. This is not a tropical system, but it's putting down some torrential downpours around Mount Vernon, Illinois. And then westward into Colorado, coming out of the Rockies, is a pretty strong upper-level disturbance that's going to be coming out there over the next couple of days. And look at this here. Centennial has had 1-inch sized hail. That's enough to put dents in your car. This storm's moving east. Now here on the south side of downtown, south of Colfax, I guess, we've got some heavy rain. The heaviest rain and the strongest winds and the potential for hail now to the east of Centennial, moving out over the plains of Arapahoe, Douglas, and Elbert counties. So, the Front Range of the Rockies, right here in the nation's heartland, and parts of New England also. The threat for severe weather this afternoon. There comes that storm I talked about coming out of the Rockies. It'll be following the jet stream and moving over an area of the country where it's warm and moist, and with a frontal boundary that aids in convergence. You get air rising, and we'll see thunderstorms maybe as far east as Jackson, Kentucky tomorrow, and further east from there on Saturday. Alex, back to you.
Thank you, Dave. Well, Iselle continues its path toward the Big Island of Hawaii, and people are preparing the best they can in all the hustle. Take a look at this picture taken by a reporter from our affiliate in Honolulu. A double rainbow on the Big Island. Malika Lincoln says it came after some light rain showers. We'll be right back.
Stanley Steamer is the first carpet cleaning service to be certified by the Asthma and Allergy Foundation of America, eliminating an average of 94% of common household allergens like dust, pollen, and pet dander. For a cleaner, healthier home. Certified. It's our new standard of clean. Call now about our $99 carpet cleaning special.
Call 1-800-STEAMER. Stanley Steamer, your certified cleaner.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
50 isn't 50 anymore. Join us as today celebrates Hoda's milestone.
Embrace this. Feel great about it.
If that's 50, I can't wait to get there.
From health and finances to love and family.
It doesn't get any better than this.
There's never been a better time to say, this is 50. Our special series all this week on Today on NBC.
Currently in our area, 84 degrees under mostly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, Hawaii is in the path of 2 severe storms. Our own Jim Cantori is live from the islands tracking this rare threat. Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
Oh no. Can you fix it, Dad?
Yeah, I can fix that. I wanted a car that could handle anything.
I fixed it!
That's why I got a Subaru Legacy.
Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 36 mpg.
I gotta break more toys.
Introducing the all-new Subaru Legacy. It's not just a sedan, it's a Subaru.
Jack.
Aha. No! Energizer protects your devices from damaging leaks.
Introducing York Minis. A bite-sized new way to enjoy the full-size sensation of peppermint and rich dark chocolate. New York Minis. Get the sensation.
What do you mean homeowners insurance doesn't cover floods?
A few inches of water caused all this?
But I don't even live near the water.
What you don't know about flood insurance may shock you, including the fact that a preferred risk policy starts as low as $129 a year. For an agent, call 188-RAIN-914.
the flash flood, watch out for that.
Thanks so much for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. We're joining a press conference in progress in Honolulu, and we've got a National Weather Service person speaking now.
That's right. His name is Mike Canton. He's from the Weather Service in the Honolulu office. Let's listen.
Moisture, it's deep enough to work its way right over the terrain and into the areas as well. For the ocean side, we are looking for large surf, 15 to 25 feet for the eastern and northeastern sides of the Big Islands. Elsewhere in the ballpark of 12 to 18 feet, mainly for the eastern and northeastern sides. Southern shores of Oahu and Kauai may pick up some significant swell as well, 10 to 15 feet as it swings through. The ocean will be choppy, it will be rough, strong currents, there'll be driving rain. Definitely not something folks should be getting out into. Okay, people may be thinking, hey, we get some surf coming up with this hurricane. Do not get out there. It's going to be very, very dangerous. As well as along with the surf, we may see some storm surge about 1 to 2 feet. So the ocean being pushed up onto the shore. We have some high tides coming in later on this afternoon and again Friday afternoon that are a little bit above our average, where we call them spring tides. They're going to be here in conjunction with some of that onshore wind flow, which kind of adds to the potential effect. 1 or 2 feet is enough to cause some minor issues and inundation issues along the coastline, mainly beach erosion and coastal erosion. Do not go out there, hang out on the lava cliffs. Don't go out on the beaches. Stay inside. Stay protected as the storm comes through. There could be issues with these winds, with power outages, with down power poles. There could be live wires out on the street. So stay inside, stay hunkered down, don't venture out, and stay protected. It looks like the system as it moves through, it'll be the Big Island mainly this afternoon, evening into the overnight, into Maui County, and then as we get into early Friday through the midday, especially for Oahu, midday to late in the day for Kauai on Friday, and then moving west of the state late Friday into Saturday. And then, of course, we have Julio right now that's sitting out there slated to come in potentially early next week, but staying a little bit to the north. So right now, all eyes are focused on Iselle, and I'll stand by for any questions that you guys might have.
Ramsey Warren, Hawaii News Now. Curious about, you mentioned the terrain at the Big Island. A lot of people are hoping that will help break up the storm system. But the other question has to do with how much will it potentially keep this system there, where it just sits right over the top, and then you have excessive rainfall and even more flooding?
Great question. It looks like the way the ridge of high pressure is set up, these storms are steered by high pressure, and the ridge is set up to our north and the east. So as the system moves along, it's going to continue on its west-northwesterly path at that 15 to 18 mile per hour range throughout the duration. We do not anticipate it stopping. The terrain of the Big Island will act to kind of grab the bottom portion of the storm and hold it back while the top continues to move. So it's going to separate the system, which should weaken it dramatically. That's why we're expecting it to drop off fairly quickly afterwards. But it's not expected to stop. It's going to be moving on. When the system moves over the Big Island and then across the rest of the state, it may seem like it's stopped because the rain will be stuck over the windward areas and just wringing it out, wringing it out, wringing it out. So we could prolong periods, potentially heavy rainfall out there. So it's just going to be one of those things. The system may be moving, but that rain's going to continue to be focused.
Could it strengthen once it clears the Big Island in the waterways there?
We don't anticipate that. What we expect is it moves across the Big Island will weaken it, and then we get some more wind shear additionally as it moves further west, so it will weaken pretty quickly.
Mike, folks who live on Hawaii Island, when it's going to start and about how long they can expect to be in this storm?
Okay, we expect the tropical storm force winds, which are 39 miles an hour and higher, to begin later on this afternoon, sometime in the mid-afternoon, 4 to 6 p.m., somewhere in that ballpark. Timing these exactly is very difficult to do, but it does look like that's when it'll arrive, with the bulk of the system coming a little bit towards the evening time frame, so kind of mid to late afternoon to the early evening when the core of the system comes through. With these tropical cyclones, the strongest winds are near the system. If it has an eye, they'll be around the outside of the eye. If it doesn't have an eye, it's going to be somewhere near the center of the system will be the strongest condition. So beginning kind of mid.
All right, well, you have been listening into that conference with that Mike Canton out of the National Weather Service, Honolulu, helping to prepare folks.
And coming up next on the Weather Channel, a look at severe weather in New England.
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill relieves heartburn faster.
Okay, ladies, whenever you're ready.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I got this.
Oh, no, I'll get it.
Let me get it. I don't want you to pay for this. It's not happening, honey.
Let her get it. She got her safe driving bonus check from Allstate last week, and it's her treat.
What about a tip?
Oh, here's one. Get an Allstate agent.
Nice.
Switch today and get 2 safe driving bonus checks a year for driving safely, only from Allstate. Call 866-788-0900 now.
Here we go. Hold on, man. Is that a leak up there?
That's a drip.
Okay.
Now that's a leak.
That is a leak!
And if you don't have Allstate Renters Insurance, game over.
Protect your valuables from things like water damage for as low as $4 a month when you add renter's insurance to your Allstate auto policy. Call 866-788-0900 now. And if you're a safe driver, you can save up to 45%.
Just a few more ways Allstate is changing car insurance for good.
Call an Allstate agent and get a quote now.
Why do you want a tablet that has free data virtually anywhere you go?
What's that?
That is poison ivy.
Because you need to know what you're getting yourself into.
I put it in my mouth.
Get the Trio tablet, powered by T-Mobile with free data for life. Only at Walmart.
This is Kathleen. Setting up the perfect wedding day begins with her arthritis pain and 2 pills. Afternoon arrives and feeling good, but her knee pain returns. That's 2 more pills. The evening's event brings laughter, joy, and more pain. When Jamie says,
"What's that, like 6 pills today?"
Yeah.
I can take 2 Aleve for all-day relief.
Really?
And that's it.
this is Kathleen.
For my arthritis pain, I now choose Aleve.
Get all-day arthritis pain relief with an easy open cap.
This summer on NBCSN, the boats are in the water, the fish are on the hook, and there's money on the line. 2 great shows, 1 big night.
My husband worked at a power plant where the asbestos fell like snow.
My dad got mesothelioma from asbestos.
Oh, the diagnosis was devastating.
We chose Cooney and Conway because they're highly experienced in this area.
They were more than lawyers. They were human beings.
There was no money up front.
It showed my sons that there is justice in the world.
Call 1-800-322-5573. Cooney and Conway. Justice with a passion.
If you had $1 for every dollar car insurance companies say they'll save you by switching, you'd have like a ton of dollars. But how are they saving you those dollars? A lot of companies might answer or no comment. Then there's Esurance, born online, raised by technology, and majors in efficiency. So whatever they save, you save. Hassle, time, paperwork, hair tearing out, and yes, especially dollars. Esurance, insurance for the modern world. Now backed by Allstate. Click or call.
266-2838 now. That's 1-855-266-2838.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 91 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thank you for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. We are watching severe weather up into parts of the Northeast, really into New England. We've seen some reports of penny-sized hail throughout the Massachusetts area. Around Milford, they have seen some. We've got this severe thunderstorm warning for Middlesex and Worcester counties. That goes until 4 o'clock Eastern time. Another one further off towards the south and east. You can see just off to the west of Brockton. We've got a warning on that until 4 o'clock for Bristol, Norfolk, and Plymouth counties. So you got to watch out for that. Other storms offering up some heavy rainfall and plenty of lightning too. Cumberland County up near Portland, Maine under a severe thunderstorm warning until 3:45. So we'll watch out for that one as well. Right now, we'll send it back over to Dave.
Thanks, Alex. Well, meteorologist Julie Martin is monitoring the latest developments in Hawaii, and she joins us now. Thanks a lot, Julie. Now, bottled water is a hot commodity over there, but I understand that The prices for a case are now astronomical.
It is a hot commodity if you can even find it. You know, water right now going for $15, $16, even $18 a case, making it almost as expensive as gasoline. Local water companies are now selling it to customers straight from the factory. They say they haven't seen traffic like this in 20 years. As a matter of fact, we found bottled water on sale on Craigslist. Now, most of the posts online are people trying to help their neighbors. This one is asking just $2 a gallon. Here's a live look now at Waikulla Beach. This is on the west side of the Big Island. We are going to be monitoring conditions there and on the east side of the island where the Hilo Airport, by the way, is located. The State Department of Transportation says all airports are now open. They will do everything in their power to keep them open, even once Hurricane Iselle makes landfall. Now, shipping ports across the state are a different story. Most are closed now or will close later on today, and that will delay supplies to the island. So any ships or barges not able to get into port, they're going to have to sail around the open seas until the weather improves. And we are being told that they're planning to sail north. Alex?
Julie, you know, Iselle, the most immediate game in town, but not the only game in town. So as we take a look at your tropical update, we're going to focus on some of the other ones. They want some attention too, right? Look at them lined up. We've got Iselle, we've got Hurricane Julio, we've got an Invest further off to the east, and then off to the west, Super Typhoon Genevieve. Kept the same name, but now a typhoon because it has moved over the date line and strong enough, actually, that it is a super typhoon. We're going to check in on that in a second. First, Hurricane Julio, winds at 105 miles per hour, pressure 970 millibars. As we look at the track of this, does not look like it might make a direct hit, but it does look like it's going to be close. We're going to have to watch this very carefully because plenty could change, but at this point, the track does keep it just off to the north of the islands. However, we will still feel the impacts onto parts of the Hawaiian Islands. Definitely do not want to let your guard down with this one. All right, looking at the bigger picture, you see Hawaii up on the upper right-hand side of your screen. Here's Super Typhoon Genevieve, way out there in the middle of the ocean. Winds right now 150 miles an hour, and that is why this is a super typhoon. This isn't going to be impacting land. What has been impacting some of Japan's islands, Typhoon Halong. We've seen wind gusts in excess of 100 miles per hour on some of these southern islands for Japan. And as we look at the forecast for Halong, you can see this is going to continue to move off towards the north, impacting the mainland of Japan as we get into the weekend. Dave.
It's a hot one in Atlanta. I'll tell you, heat finally making news across the south. It's been a rather mild and wet summer. Atlanta's high so far for the year, I believe, 93. And that's exactly where we are right now, 93 degrees under mostly sunny skies. You have a northwest wind. You typically think, oh, northwest wind, relief from the heat. But this time of year, no. It's hot up in Tennessee, too, and that's where the air's coming in, and it's coming down from the Appalachian Mountains. That downward motion tends to heat up the air even more. Just a couple of sprinkles or a few showers up in the mountains and off to the south. Chance of rain is 10% in Atlanta today. Better chance off to the south in Montgomery and further west toward the Mississippi River Valley. But showers will increase. That will keep the temperatures down in Atlanta a little bit, but we'll have to pay for it. More clouds, more humidity, and more showers. If you have some outdoor plans coming up this weekend, well, just know that the storms are going to be out there. Severe storms possible up in the Tennessee River Valley. If you're headed out to Lake Norman, north of Charlotte, chance of thunder showers on Saturday. Get to port. Get off the water if there are thunderstorms around, and certainly get off the beaches on Sunday where there'll be showers as well. All right, well, keep it tuned to the Weather Channel all day and all night. Remember, if you're away from your TV set, you can always stay on top of the tropics online at weather.com and on your smartphone with the Weather Channel app.
Are you sure we should take this billboard down?
People find out State Farm does car loans as well as they do insurance. Our bank is through.
Good point. Grab an edge.
Look, there's two guys on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
No, for real, there's two dudes on the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
Breaking news from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign.
Seeing two men that have climbed the Borrow Better banking sign.
Gentlemen, please get down from the State Farm Borrow Better banking sign. Phil, get the hose.
Okay, he's getting the hose.
All right, let's go.
Talk to a State Farm agent about car loans that can save you hundreds. That's borrowing better.
Hershey's Miniatures. Choosing is half the fun. Because there's a little something delicious for everyone. Hershey's Miniatures. Choose your own delicious.
Love the way your tires look right after applying Tire Shine, but hate that it washes right off with the first rainy day? Well, not anymore. Introducing White New Tire, the world's longest-lasting tire dressing, a full 6 months. Just apply White New Tires and let it dry. Your tire's shiny new finish will be protected from snow, slush, and road salts, from mud and muck, and from heat and sand, along with all the normal dust and road grime. And the shine won't wash away.
You've just seen my truck on camera, and as much as I love to go off-roading, I trust only White New to keep it like new.
Want proof? We applied White New to half of this tire and sent it through over 100 powerful car washes. White New Tire never washes away. White New Tire will last for 6 months of real-world environmental exposure, and we guarantee it. Traditional tire dressings can leave a greasy residue and even contain silicone that actually attracts dust. Here's how it works. Our revolutionary tire formula bonds to the surface of your tires, leaves no greasy residue, won't crack or peel, and most importantly, won't wash away, leaving only the White New Tire shine. Your tires will look better than new for months to come. Ordinary tire products need to be applied every car wash. Plus, they cause overspray and sling. Not the best thing for your paint. What a waste of time and money. Just apply White New Tire Shine once, saving you extra work and well over $100 at the car wash. White New Tire is only $14.99. Call right now and we'll double your order. Just pay additional handling. That's 2 White New Tire kits, enough to keep the tires on 2 cars looking shiny and new for a full 6 months. That's right, you get 2 White New Tire kits for just $14.99. Call now.
Order White New Tires right now and we'll double the offer. That's right, enough White New Tires for 2 cars. Enjoy your showroom new look for 6 months. We guarantee it. That's 1-800-621-3694. Call now.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane.
Just total chaos.
If you think you've seen it all, look again.
You've got to be kidding me.
A new original series, Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Currently in our area, 91 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Right now, Hawaii is in the path of 2 severe storms. Our own Jim Cantori is live from the islands tracking this rare threat. Keep it here on the Weather Channel.
We kind of made sure everything is all locked up and buckled down. We put our car all in the garage and then get the water ready, flashlight.
Well, act fast, Hawaii. For the first time ever, a hurricane is expected to make landfall on the Big Island tonight. Gas is more expensive than water in Hawaii right now. Stores are running out of supplies as the islands get ready for not 1 but 2 hurricane landfalls before Monday. We are monitoring a press conference with Hawaii Governor Neil Abercrombie, and if anything major comes out of it, we will let you know.
Been in touch with the chief elections officer, and as far as
all right, well, Dave, we're going to keep listening to that. But first, you've got to tell folks at home this could be unprecedented tonight.
I know. I'm just thinking, you know, that many people in Hawaii have not experienced anything like this before. So, you know, even though you may have grown up without having to deal with a hurricane, you know, that doesn't mean it can't happen. Well, it's about to happen. It's a hurricane, 80 mile an hour, maximum sustained winds, and it's headed for Hilo and then for, well, to the south of the most populous city in Hawaii, which of course is Honolulu. On the island of Oahu, which is where Honolulu is, almost 1 million people live. Here on the Big Island, about 190,000. A hurricane warning is in effect. Hilo, our big city here, and of course we have two 14,000-foot volcanoes. So there's a slope everywhere. There's going to be flash flooding, roads out, that kind of thing. Here we go. The weather starts going downhill this afternoon. It's still morning here in the Big Island. This afternoon and tonight will be the roughest for us here. And then late tonight and tomorrow for Honolulu, with winds maybe as high as 60 miles per hour. Our storm specialist is all over this. Here's Carl Parker with more.
Dave, we want to talk a little bit about the hurricane history in Hawaii, and it's very interesting. You know, generally speaking, the warmest ocean waters are to the south of the islands, and so when we have gotten hit by very strong storms in the past, they have come from the south, some component of the south, and that's exactly what we've got right here. Here's a look at some of the hurricane history there in Hawaii. There was Dot in 1959, which was at one point a Category 4, though not a Category 4 when it made landfall there in Kauai. Then there was Iwa in 1982, a Category 2. The most devastating by far was Iniki in 1992. That was a Category 4 at landfall, caused huge problems in Kauai. But again, all of these storms came from the south, because when you look off to the north and to the east, you've got this northeasterly wind, these trade winds that bring down cooler, drier air on the northeast side of the islands, and there's also cooler water there. So generally speaking, we do not get storms that are strong coming from the east. That's what makes this so different. Now, the hurricane hunters are out in Isel right now, and they've been coming through the center of the storm. They've gone up on the east side. They're coming back down into the center. What's interesting is that they have not yet found hurricane force winds. Now, they may very well find hurricane force winds in the next few minutes here as they drop down into the center of this big area of thunderstorms or convection. But is that a sign of weakening? It will be very interesting to see as they continue to do their crisscross pattern across this storm. The presentation on satellite, not quite as good as it was yesterday. Yesterday, we saw this tremendous resurgence of the convection in a very well-defined eye and eye wall. There is certainly evidence of an eye here, but it's rather filled in. It's a little bit muddy, but you do see the cloud pattern certainly very persistent. We are not seeing, for example, the dry air overwhelming the system. It has managed to hold its own, and that's why we think it is possible that we'll get a hurricane making landfall on the Big Island. If not that, then most likely a strong tropical storm. Already there is some weather associated with the storm coming into the Big Island, some squalls there. The winds are going to be increasing, getting up to perhaps 55, 57 miles per hour this evening, and they'll be coming out of the northeast. So the windward sides of the islands, and that's the Big Island and up into Maui and Molokai, will be getting those stronger winds this evening. It's going to take until tomorrow morning for those winds to move over into Oahu. So here's a look at the timing of the wind. Notice that it really starts to pick up in Hilo as we get into late afternoon. There is a 6-hour difference. So this would be 11 p.m. Eastern time. Notice also with that northeasterly wind coming in, Dave talked about those very high mountain peaks. Notice the relative absence of wind in the wake of the Big Island there as the wind flow is being interrupted by those very tall mountains. Then 9 p.m. winds really start to kick in at this point in Hilo, 50, 60 miles per hour, gusting up to hurricane force, especially as you get up in elevation. Then that strong wind continues, comes out of the southeast in Hilo, 3 o'clock in the morning, really picking up there in Maui. And then tomorrow morning, as the sun is coming up, that's when it starts to increase in Honolulu. Could be 50 mile per hour sustained winds in Honolulu right through the middle of the day tomorrow. Again, we see that relative absence of wind in the wake of the Big Island there. How about the waves? They're going to be way up there, probably 10 to 16 feet on the northeast facing beaches, maybe as high as 16 to 26 on the Big Island. And high tide there in the Big Island is going to be at about 1 o'clock in the morning. So certainly there could be some issues with surge, though in general, we don't see as much of a problem here. When you look at the Gulf Coast of the U.S., it's got a very shallow slope to the continental shelf. So it's a lot easier for the wind to push the water up on that shallow slope as compared compared to Hawaii, it's got a very steep slope, and so the water is not pushed up as easily, and so we're thinking surge in this case, Dave, is probably going to be more minimal on the order of 1 to 2 to 3 feet along the Hawaiian Islands. Back to you.
Thank you, Carl. Well, now it's time to have a little time out here. This is a segment. Now, we've seen Hurricane Isabel, we've seen Julio, we've seen Typhoon Genevieve. East coast. This could be a hurricane. This is connected slightly to effect. MC, some streams, very heavy rain on the east side. There's of an MC. Non-tropical. Back to you, Max.
Good stuff. Actually, keep it in. We've got to talk about the threat for this part of the country. We are watching through this area hours towards mountain area. As we expand the view, we've got the parts in southern Illinois, but also area we have seen dime and not quarter, but coins nonetheless. Some of the heavy rain towards the bend area, and we got. If you want anybody looking ahead on, tell them to wait. That's probably a good idea. Today's forecast best years could be in places like down to Little Rock, Memphis, even including we watch music. Tomorrow we're watching some parts of Tennessee. On Saturday, you can see part of Tennessee is still scattered in the Midwest. Sunday, little break. Plenty of gas. English forecast. We hit her with that after.
Here's
I've been Claritin Clear for 8 days.
At the first sign of your allergies, doctors recommend taking one Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
21 days. 14 days of continuous relief.
Live Claritin Clear every day.
Attention! For a limited time only, you can own a Premier Care and Bathing walk-in bath or easy access shower for payments as low as $150 per month.
I wanted to live in my home, and Premier Care helps. I have never been more safe in my life.
Thousands of customers have made Premier Care and Bathing the leader in walk-in baths and easy access showers, and Premier Care has been commended by the Arthritis Foundation. Exclusive hydrovescent therapy uses thousands of tiny champagne-like air bubbles that improve circulation and ease aches and pains with the push of a a button. Our Premier Care promise is backed by more than 25 years installation and service.
I love my Premier Care walk-in bath.
Call 1-800-510-6932 to get your free brochure today. Plus, for a limited time only, Premier Care and Bathing is offering payments as low as $150 per month. That's 1-800-510-6932.
Premier Bath is the best gift I ever gave to myself.
It's time for me to be practical.
You know, to have a better plan.
It's time to have a serious talk about the future.
Every day, conversations like these are happening in families everywhere.
You know, until now, I haven't been able to qualify for life insurance.
I've been inquieto about what would happen
if something happened to me.
Life insurance may not be an easy topic to discuss, but now it can be a simple thing to address.
I just found a policy from MetLife
that's going to give us the protection we need.
And the peace of mind I want.
At a price I can afford.
It's called Final Expense Whole Life Insurance.
And it's just what I need.
With Final Expense Whole Life Insurance, your acceptance is guaranteed.
Even at my age.
Even with our budget constraints.
Even with my medical history, I was able to get coverage.
Applying for Final Expense Whole Life Insurance is easy. Policies range from $2,500 to $20,000, and premiums start at $10 per month.
There were no medical questions.
No medical exams.
We made just one phone call, and just like that, we were covered.
Final Expense Whole Life Insurance is available to anyone age 45 to 75. The tax-free benefits are paid quickly and directly to your beneficiary.
You know, when the time comes, there will be expenses.
Things like medical bills, credit card debt, and funeral costs.
Things that can add up.
I don't want you to be burdened with those costs.
This policy will help cover them.
Call MetLife today to see how easy it can be to get life insurance. If you haven't been able to get coverage before, Final Expense Whole Life Insurance could be what you've been looking for.
It feels so good to be covered.
And even better, to be covered by a company I trust.
With a name that's been around for a long time. MetLife.
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 Call MetLife at 1-877-213-2531 to learn more. That's 1-877-213-2531. 1-877-213-2531.
Very cold air up at the cloud level, giving rise to some hail-producing thunderstorms in New England. First, we're south of Boston and the counties of Bristol and Plymouth under a severe thunderstorm warning. There could be some hail here between Brockton and Taunton, moving southeast toward the Cape. And our second and last stop takes us up into Maine, our second of 3 stops, that is. Portland under a severe thunderstorm warning. North Windham and Windham now, there could be some hail. That storm seems to be weakening. Heavier storms down I-95 south of town. And lastly, just northeast of Albany, New York, reports of ping-pong ball-sized hail from this one. This storm is moving out of Washington County into Rensselaer County, northeast of Albany. So get the kids inside, get the car inside if it's safe to do that. If you live in Hoosick Falls, Pittstown, or Shaktacoke. Did I get that right, Alex?
Sounds good to me. Thanks, Dave. Well, it has been 22 years since Hawaii had a landfalling hurricane, but the very first time that the Big Island has ever been hit by a major tropical storm. A hurricane warning is in effect, and our own Jim Cantori is in Hilo ahead of the hurricane. This morning, he talked about the preps underway.
At times, Hilo has already dealt with some pretty heavy rain showers, enough to even cause the parking lot to see quite a bit of water in it. But that drains, the rain tapers off, and so does the wind. And you can see it's pretty much calm right now. That is going to change as we go on through the day today, and possibly by 8 o'clock tonight, we will see the center of the storm come very, very close to Hilo. The first time we've ever had a landfalling hurricane, if it remains at that strength. The other thing I'm worried about here on Kamehameha Avenue is the fact that you have a lot of these buildings that have these beautiful glass windows on them. They're only single pane, though. So any kind of debris or projectile that comes in could break these windows. There's only a couple of people that have boarded up so far. So that could be a big danger, I think, to some of these local businesses here if they do not choose to board up, especially with winds expected to be around 80 miles per hour. Other than that, it's the seas. I mean, you're talking about 25-foot waves off the coast right now, which are rolling in. As a matter of fact, when it stops raining here and I just listen off onto the other side of the bay, I can hear those waves crashing. They're not 25 feet yet. but they could be before the day is out. Water has been a hot commodity. We've seen it fly off the shelves on not just the department stores, but also any convenience store, even places like Costco and Sam's Club. Water's been flying off shelves and in some cases even run out. Gasoline, also a hot commodity. But these are all things that we ask you to do because we expect power loss on a tropical island where it gets hot and there's no air conditioning. That's going to be a great thing to have because we've not only got Iselle, we've got Julio as we work our way into the weekend. And who knows what that may bring. It may be the whole north side of the islands that get impacted by that storm, a whole different side of the islands. We'll keep you posted, guys. The weather going downhill starting this afternoon here in Hilo. Back to you.
Well, thank you, Jim. Unfortunately for the people of Hawaii, it's not just one storm they have to worry about. In fact, it's two that will hit within 48 hours of each other.
And that has people there on high alert. So joining us now on the phone is Coralie Matayoshi with the American Red Cross. And Coralie, thank you so much for taking the time to talk to us. We've seen a huge run on supplies. Are most people stocked up and ready to go?
Well, unfortunately, we have had a lot of practice these past 6 years. We've had 3 tsunami scares and 3 hurricane scares. So most people have listened, and they are trying to be prepared. We're trying very hard to have resilient communities in Hawaii because we are the most isolated population on the face of the earth, and so we need to be prepared.
Right. Now, what do people have to get if they don't have it by now?
Mm-hmm. Well, they should be, and there is still time to fill up your bathtubs and things with water because when the electricity goes off, the pumps don't work, and so you can still do that. And people should have their 7-day, not 3 days like on the mainland, 7 days worth of food and water and medications and things like that. So there is still time, and people hopefully are more prepared than they would have been a few years ago.
Well, you know, something we've seen are the water going for $17 Craigslist purchases. Are there opportunities for people to get stuff that they need, or are many stores just out?
Well, we have a just-in-time food supply and water supply and everything else. Even toilet paper is a hot commodity. Fortunately, people have stocked up, and there is time to fill your own bathtubs or clean water containers yourself. So we just don't want people to panic.
Right. Well, thank you so much. Coralie Matayoshi with the American Red Cross. We'll be back after your local on the 8s.
Sonic has like every slush flavor someone could ever want.
That's right. This is basically slush headquarters.
Where sour blue raspberry plans world domination.
What? Get colorful with new Sonic slushes, now available with Nerds candy. This is how you Sonic.
For over a decade, doctors have been prescribing Nexium to patients just like you. For many, prescription Nexium helps heal acid-related erosions and lining of the esophagus. There is risk of bone fracture and low magnesium levels. Side effects may include headache, abdominal pain, and diarrhea. If you have persistent diarrhea, contact your doctor right away. Other serious stomach conditions may exist. Avoid if you take clopidogrel. Nexium 40 milligram is only available by prescription. Talk to your doctor. For free home delivery, enroll in Nexium Direct today.
I'm Creek Stewart, Weather Channel survival expert. Every Sunday night, we're taking 3 regular guys deep into the woods.
Are you serious?
Where we'll teach them not just to survive,
make fire,
but how to truly live.
Look at this caveman.
Show yourself what you're made of on Weather Channel Survival Sundays. At 9, it's So You Think You'd Survive. Then at 10, Fat Guys in the Woods. Premiering Sunday at 10 on the Weather Channel.
Are you ready?
Off the couch, into the weather.
Currently in our area, 89 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
cool finish. Fruit on one side, cool on the other. Icebreakers Duo, a fruity cool way to break the ice.
What if there was a credit card where the reward was that new car smell and the freedom of the open road? A card that gave you that I'm 16 and just got my first car feeling. Presenting the Buy Power card from Capital One. Redeem earnings toward part or even all of a new Chevrolet, Buick, GMC, or Cadillac with no limits. So every time you use it, you're not just shopping for goods. You're shopping for something great. Learn more at buypowercard.com.
Are you ready to take it off this summer?
I took it all off, and I'm glad I did. 35 pounds gone.
If you said that I could get in a bathing suit again, I'd say you're crazy. But I did it.
There's still time to look hot and feel great this summer. And now, lose your first 5 pounds fast with a Fast 5 from Nutrisystem.
I've lost 40.5 pounds on Nutrisystem, and I feel fabulous.
You'll lose 5 pounds your first week or your money back, guaranteed.
I'm Erin, and I lost 30 pounds.
Order your 28-day My Way plan right now, and we'll rush you the Fast 5 free. You'll get 1 week of fantastic energizing shakes, 1 week of amazing craving crusher shakes, 1 week of delicious meals, all free. And the best news, call in the next 4 minutes and you'll also get the all-new smoothies, absolutely free. Millions of people have lost weight with Nutrisystem, and now you can too. Time is running out. Call now and get all this plus 1 week of smoothies free. Don't wait.
Call 877-314-SIZE and lose your first 5 pounds free.
So we're all set?
Yep, with Xfinity Internet, your family can use all their devices at once. Works anywhere in the house, even the garage.
Max, what's going on?
We're doing a tech startup. We're streamlining an algorithm.
What's Grandpa doing?
Hi.
Shh, Grandpa, you don't want to be an intern forever. Sorry, Dad. We have to get back to work. We have a deadline. We're going public!
The fastest in-home Wi-Fi for your entire family. The X1 Entertainment Operating System. Only from Xfinity.
If you sign up for DirecTV's latest deal, prepare to be blindsided, because they'll double your rate before you know it. And you'll find you're locked into a 2-year contract that could cost you over $3,000. That's why the smart choice is Xfinity. You can see all the best action in football all season long, with no surprises. Don't get blindsided by DirecTV. Upgrade to an Xfinity X1 Triple Play. Call 1-800-XFINITY today.
To 1905 to get a free brochure. 1-800-382-1905.
Mondays, only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
Welcome back. It is time now for your tropical update. I'm hurricane specialist Carl Parker, and we are watching a remarkably rare event. You have to go back to 1958 to find a time when a tropical storm made landfall on the Big Island of Hawaii, and a hurricane has never made landfall in the record. That's going back to 1950, and we may in fact have a hurricane making landfall later tonight. Let's take a look first of all at the latest from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. An 80-mile-per-hour storm. It's moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. That forward speed has been steady through the day today, and we expect that it will bring the storm into the Big Island later tonight. It's going to be overnight our time, and it's going to be this evening Hawaii time. There's a look at the forecast track and intensities for the storm. Could very well again be a hurricane as it moves in. Then it will begin to weaken almost certainly, as it's going to interact with very tall mountains on the Big Island of Hawaii, up to nearly 14,000 feet. And then we'll pass to the south, most likely, of Oahu, and winds may be sustained at 50 miles per hour tomorrow morning Hawaii time in Honolulu, and that may continue through the middle of the day tomorrow. The hurricane hunters are out in the system right now, and they are finding some hurricane force winds, not a lot of them. They've done this typical sort of crisscross pattern going back and forth around the storm, and most of what they've found at flight level has been tropical storm force wind, but in a little area on the north side of the eye, they have found a bit of hurricane force wind. And I want to show you what's going on the visible satellite picture. Not a tremendously well-developed structure here, but it is holding its own at this point. And we'll zoom in the area where they found those hurricane-force winds is that burst of thunderstorms, which is just north of that rather ragged eye right there. And at this point, it appears that there is no way that that area of weather, unless it totally falls apart, will avoid the Big Island. So I think we are certainly going to get in on at least strong tropical storm force conditions, if not actually hurricane force winds. We'll also see a lot of very heavy rain and tremendous wave action by virtue of the fact that this storm has been going for so long. It's been building up all that wave energy in the ocean. There are some showers now approaching the Big Island. This is just the outer fringes of the storm. It's going to get a lot worse going through afternoon and evening. So we're looking at the wind field here, Hawaii time, and they are 6 hours behind us. So that's 11 p.m. Eastern time. Winds picking up there in Hilo. Very strong winds driving into the windward side of the Big Island. We usually get winds out of the northeast. That's why it's the windward side of the island, and that's where the effects are going to be greatest. Notice the relative absence of wind behind the island as the island is sort of blocking that wind stream there. Then going into 9 o'clock tonight, Hawaii time, 50-60 mile-per-hour wind in Hilo, gusting to hurricane force, especially as you get up in elevation. Then overnight tonight, still very strong wind, shifting direction in Hilo, also picking up there in Maui. And then tomorrow morning, winds may get up to about 50 miles per hour sustained in Honolulu, and that could continue through the middle of the day tomorrow. Notice how the winds drop off there through a lot of the Big Island as it again is blocking that wind flow. Let's talk about elevation and what a difference that makes. Because you do not have friction when you get 1,000 to 2,000 feet off the ground, the winds are much stronger at that level. And so if we have a surface wind of 70 miles per hour coming into that windward side of the Big Island, then you go up 1,000 feet, that wind will increase to 85 miles per hour. You go up to 2,000 feet, that wind will increase to 100 miles per hour. There are some towns at higher elevations there in Hawaii, so the wind damage potential increases as you go up with height. Dave, Alex, back to you.
All right, thank you, Carl. Well, Weather Center Live is back at the top of the hour. Now, we head live to Hawaii as people there prepare for not one, but 2 hurricanes.
Here is a live look at Waikoloa on the Big Island. Things going to get worse there, though, as we go through the day, and especially tonight.
Yep. Weather's fine in Honolulu, but that's going to change late tonight and tomorrow.
We're
Stay
back
with us
in 60 seconds.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Thanks for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. It is morning in Hawaii. People are waking up in paradise, but getting ready for what could seem like hell.
An unprecedented storm is coming to the Big Island, and we are all over it.
Live from the Weather Channel headquarters in Atlanta, you're watching Hurricane Central.
You know, since official records have been kept, 1950, a hurricane has never hit the Big Island of Hawaii. Now, in fact, for being in the middle of the ocean like that, it's rare for the state to get tropical activity. I mean, it can go north, south, east, west. Now, Alex, it looks like Hurricane Iselle is going to make landfall in less than 12 hours on the island of Hawaii.
You mentioned all those directions. Very rare for a storm to come in from the east. They've never been hit by a hurricane coming in from the east. Isel first in line. We've got Julio further off towards the east, also headed towards the Hawaiian Islands. Right now, 10 a.m. Hawaii time, and you're going to see things get a lot worse as the day wears on. Worse conditions expected for the Big Island tonight. Hurricane warnings in effect there. Tropical storm warnings for all the other islands. You can see that red shading there. And we've got to talk about timing for places like Hilo. Winds today 20 to 30 miles per hour late. Rain also increasing late with 1 to 2 inches of rain expected today. Tonight, 50 to 75 mile per hour winds with periods of heavy rain. Could see 2 to 3 inches, possibly more. And tomorrow, those winds will stay very strong early, periods of heavy rain and additional rain over 1 inch. So flooding going to be another big concern. Let's send things over to our expert, our hurricane specialist, Carl Parker.
All right, so let's talk about this advisory that we got from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center. Still now an 80-mile-per-hour storm, and it's still moving west-northwest at 17 miles per hour. That would bring it into the Big Island this evening, somewhere around perhaps 7 to 8 o'clock tonight, Hawaii Standard Time. Now, there's a look at the system as it's getting closer to Big Island, and I also want to show you the forecast track and intensities from the Central Pacific Hurricane Center, calling for this to possibly be a hurricane as it moves in tonight. As you mentioned, that would be unprecedented. Then it will likely weaken beyond that point. The center probably passing to the south of Oahu, but there certainly could be very gusty wind there. A lot of heavy rain all the way around. Now, here's the satellite picture over the last 12 hours. On the one hand, the system has been remarkably persistent, holding on to its thunderstorms and not weakening, despite the fact that there's been a lot of dry air surrounding the system. On the other hand, it does have a very ragged appearance right now. You notice that the center of circulation is right there, and on the south side there's been a real drop-off in the intensity of those storms. There's one big burst of storms, and that's where the hurricane hunters have found hurricane force winds at flight level, and that is now about 10 hours away on its present speed from the Big Island. So again, that would bring it in around 7, 8 o'clock tonight. Here's a look at how those winds increase on the windward side of the Big Island. Right in here, we normally get winds out of the northeast, but they will be sustained 50, 60 miles per hour and even higher as you get up in elevation. So there's a look at Hilo, probably 55, 57 miles per hour sustained, so winds gusting to hurricane force. We think this evening as the storm moves in, and in Honolulu, we think the action will take place tomorrow morning as long as the storm doesn't fall apart. That is certainly a possibility with that center that's already looking a little ragged coming across those very tall mountains in Hawaii. But at this point, it looks like it's possible that we get some strong wind there in Honolulu. Because the storm has been very strong for a long period of time, it's been building up very tall waves. That's really going to be the threat. Not so much storm surge because we don't have a shallow continental shelf. The continental shelf drops off very quickly in Hawaii, so surge is not as much of an issue for that reason, but there will be tremendous wave action, and that in and of itself can cause major damage. The waves into the double digits easily on the north and east facing beaches there on the Big Island, in Maui and up into Molokai and also into Oahu. Let's talk about rainfall. Strong northeast winds driving into this elevated terrain. What happens is the wind flow comes into the terrain, begins to be driven upward, and that is a cooling process and causes more condensation and even more rain than you would get on flat ground. That's called orographic lifting. That enhances the rainfall potential, and so easily there could be several inches of rain there in Hilo, for example, 5 to 8 inches of rain, and then we're talking about as much as a foot of rain in some isolated spots, and that rain is then going to be channeled and funneled by that elevated terrain, so there could be life-threatening mudslides and flash flood. And there are flash flood watches now in effect for much of the Hawaiian island chain. That continues right through the next couple of days. So again, not just one storm, but two storms right now. Isel is a relatively small circulation. You see that Julio is bigger, just eyeballing it, and it's a formidable storm right now, a Category 2 hurricane with 105 mile per hour wind, now moving to the west at 17 miles per hour, much like the storm that precedes it. And a lot of structure here, very well-defined eye, big thunderstorms wrapping about that center. At this point, it is likely that the storm is going to continue on towards the west, but then it appears, at least most of the model guidance is showing us, that it could pass to the north of the islands, but it's going to be very close, and even in this scenario could have quite an impact on those northernmost islands in Hawaii, Dave, and that includes the most populous, that being Oahu. Back to you.
Thank you very much, Carl Parker, our storm specialist. I just want to give you a heads up. If you live on the island of Oahu, which is where Honolulu is, it's the most populous island in the state of Hawaii. 10 shelters are opening up across the island, including Honolulu, at 10 o'clock tonight. If you're not feeling confident about maybe the structure you live in or flooding has happened in your neighborhood, check into that, okay? They open up at 10 o'clock tonight. Go online and find out exactly where those are. Now, here in the middle of the country, heck, we had 3.5 inches of rain in Kansas City this morning from this. It's a mesoscale convective vortex. It's formed because of the thunderstorm activity further west. And now it continues to rumble east with slow-moving thunderstorms that can cause some ponding. This is low country, of course. This is the Mississippi Delta. And there could even be some severe weather. We have one storm that's gone severe in Mississippi. The conditions are right for this to generally happen again tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday. Stormy weather aloft is moving in over warm, humid air coming out of the south and southeast. That gives us the chance for storms. Could be rough in Evansville, in Louisville, Kentucky, and further east. We'll have more on the hurricane and Hawaii next.
My mom just can't stop talking about Walmart's new savings catcher.
You enter your Walmart receipt, and then the savings catcher automatically compares prices to the top stores in the area.
No more driving around town.
If there's a lower advertised price on an item I bought, Walmart gives me the difference on an e-gift card.
Oh, money! It's so easy, even a parent can do it.
Try the savings catcher for yourself. Go to walmart.com/savings catcher and enter your receipts. Save money, live Walmart.
You may not be a prepper now, but you will be. Whether the next disaster is man-made or wrought by Mother Nature, you need a plan. WiseFoodStorage.com's emergency gourmet meals are made in the USA, delicious, easy to prepare, just add water, and packaged and proportioned perfectly, eliminating waste and creating a shelf life of up to 25 years. Why face your next emergency on an empty stomach? Request your free sample today at WiseFoodStorage.com.
So we're all set?
Yep, with Xfinity Internet, your family can use all their devices at once. Works anywhere in the house, even the garage.
Max, what's going on?
We're doing a tech startup. We're streamlining an algorithm. We're going public!
The fastest in-home Wi-Fi for your entire family. The X1 Entertainment Operating System. Only from Xfinity.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, thunderstorms early, low 77. Chance of rain, 50%. Friday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon, high 89. Chance of rain, 40%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Only the Weather Channel takes you this far. Inside a Hurricane. Hurricane 360, premiering August 18th at 9 on the Weather Channel.
At Panera Bread, our new flatbread sandwiches may be flat. The flavors are anything but. So whether it's taste inspired by the freshness of the Mediterranean or the smoky spice of the Southwest, or bold, adventurous Thai flavors. You always get flavor that's anything but flat, and always with chicken raised without antibiotics. New flatbread sandwiches from Panera, each 360 calories or less. Try one today.
Waves don't care what age you are. Take them on the way you always have. Live healthy and take One-A-Day Men's 50 Plus, a complete multivitamin with 7 antioxidants to support cell health. Age? Who cares?
Zantac heartburn alert! Stop! Nexium can take 24 hours to work. Zantac's different. Zantac rushes relief in as little as 30 minutes. For relief without the wait, try Zantac. No pill leaves heartburn faster.
Your mom could do anything. Defy gravity. Find hidden treasure. Make rainbows appear. Now she could use a hand so she can keep living on her own. Comfort Keepers can help you help her. Our professional caregivers are carefully chosen and highly trained to provide a variety of in-home services while truly engaging with your aging loved ones so they can stay happy at home. Comfort Keepers, keeping the comforts of home. Call Comfort Keepers now to learn more.
Thank you so much for staying with us here on Weather Center Live. We've got a severe thunderstorm watch for eastern sections of the state of Colorado. This does include the Denver area, goes until 7 o'clock Mountain Time. We've been watching severe thunderstorms through the area. Some hail producers that have been moving through. We've got a few severe thunderstorm warnings. This one for Adams County until 2:45 Mountain Time. You can see Deer Trail also under a severe thunderstorm warning. This is off towards the east of the Denver metro area. Adams, Arapahoe, Washington counties under that severe thunderstorm warning until 3:15 Mountain Time. I mentioned Deer Trail, Byers, another city in the path of this storm. So you got to watch for hail, also the potential for gusty winds, very heavy rainfall. We've seen hail reports coming in from parts of New England, around Massachusetts. They've seen some issues. Very heavy rainfall coming down around parts of the Cape. And we've got a severe thunderstorm warning for Barnstable and Plymouth counties. This goes until 4:45 Eastern Time, including the town of Sandwich. Got to watch out for problems there. Nobody likes a soggy sandwich, Dave.
I think it's sandwich.
Sandwich?
Yes.
Sandwich. Ham?
I guess a little bit scary. We are scheduled to depart somewhere just in between the two storms, so we are obviously monitoring. When is he landing? How long is he going to stay? Just in case to change our flights, and we also got food and drinks for the hotels. Make sure we are covered.
Hawaii's Department of Transportation says it's going to do everything it can to keep airports open, even when Hurricane Iselle makes landfall. If you're flying in or out of there, definitely check with your airline about any delays or cancellations.
Well, Hurricane Iselle is expected to arrive on Hawaii's Big Island sometime this evening, bringing heavy rains and winds gusting up to 85 miles per hour. It will be Hawaii's first direct hurricane in 22 years.
And what makes this even more of a rare event is there's another storm right behind it. NBC's Jennifer Bjorklund is in Honolulu right now, and she joins us as people there are preparing for a 1-2 punch. Jennifer.
Yeah, it's a double whammy, Dave and Alex. People have been prepping for a few days. Like you said, the last big storm they had was Iniki 22 years ago. That one leveled 1,400 homes, killed 6 people on the island of Kauai.